You ever had that sense of feeling disconnected, even when you're surrounded by people? Yeah, me too. Um, and for me, this speaks to the importance of my first relationship, my relationship with myself. So easy for me to look outwards and attribute how I feel and how I'm showing up to what is happening in the environment around me. And I am not going to say for a second that that is not important. Okay? I am, uh, we are all deeply impacted by the people, the physical environment around us deeply shapes our embodiment. It is a bidirectional relationship. And if I only put the emphasis on what's happening outside, I put myself at the mercy of what's going on. And so, one of the ways this shows up for me, the sense of disconnection, even when I'm around a lot of people, is that the disconnection I'm feeling is really about the disconnection I feel with myself. That for whatever reason, I, well, and I can name some of the reasons, um, I'm performing in some way. I'm hiding behind a mask. For me, it's often the mask of perfectionism, trying to guess what people want, trying to show up in that way. And because all of my attention has gone out and they're micromanaging how they're receiving me, the sort of hypervigilance of what's going on, I'm not paying attention to what's happening in here anymore. And it's it's like if you were like trying to connect to like a piece of wire, yeah, the little crocodile clip, you're trying to connect it on each end. So often spend like a lot of time thinking about, well, how do I connect out there? Like, how do I come out here? But if I don't first tend to where the crocodile clip connects in here, it doesn't matter if I land it there because it's not connected to anything real in here. Um, and so nothing's flowing. And so I want to argue that for me, that's often where disconnection, uh, disconnection arises from. Because what I notice is when I'm deeply connected here, what happens out there matters a little less. Yeah, there's a sense of like, well, I'm still here, but all of my agency comes online when I'm connected here. It's like I can choose how I show up. I can make choices about whether like these are people I actually want to be spending time with right now. When I connect here, sometimes like, oh, actually, no, I'm just feeling quiet. I don't want to be around people right now. And disconnect is coming because I'm trying to force it. Um, So there's something really important here, I think, about tending to this first relationship, this connection to ourselves, in order to then be resourced and capable of connecting with what's happening in the outside world. That's why whenever I teach authentic relating, I always start with a practice of connect to self, a little pause, a check-in. What's it like to be here before turning outwards? And the turning outwards is important too, right? I don't want to be a hermit. Um, I've also seen the sort of the shadow side of this is where people are so attentive to themselves. They lose the balance of honor self and honor other. It all becomes about them and their flow and their needs and not paying attention to what is needed in a group, what is needed in a community, what is needed by another individual, and how am I holding both of those things as important? And this is it's nuanced, it's complex. There's no like this is how you do it. But it's one of the practices that I love the most about authentic relating. Like, how do I hold both of these things at the same time? My needs and the needs of the environment, the community around me. Not as a zero-sum game that one has to win, but as an ecosystem. How do I exist as part of this this ecosystem of relationships where for the whole thing to thrive, everybody needs to thrive. And thriving kind of ebbs and flows. Um, Notice that I'm a little like spacey this morning. It's not feeling very concrete and tangible, and maybe that's okay today. So, yeah, maybe next time you notice that sense of disconnection, even particularly if you're surrounded by people, what is it like to turn and focus inwards for a moment, to make sure that the connection is tethered here first before then tending to how it might be tethered with the people around you. I'm going to pause there. I'm sure there's more I could say, but I think that's probably enough. Um, so as always, I'd really love to hear how this lands for you, what comes up, how are you impacted by this? I'm here if you've got questions. And yeah, now I feel awkward. I'm going to go. I'll see you next time.